Thank yeah, and it's so nice to have someone else to take the session too, because it's that different input. And also, I'm also a singer. I also suffer from anxiety, and just found your book to be such a help to me. And as someone who suffers from anxiety, it's also really nice to have more input as well, because even for something like this, I experience it. I really, all day today, I was in activation, which I now call
Okay.
it, which is also a relief to have something, to say, as I'm in reaction mode rather than
Yes.
I'm in anxiety and just like bouncing off the walls. It's so common for me. So yeah, I've been really using your tips and tools in the book. And let me just read to welcome you properly. So okay, hold on a second here. So, John Skidmore, as a performance coach, private practice psychologist, and educator of nearly 30 years, John has helped thousands of people from around the world conquer their anxiety. And I'm just letting someone else in. As a young singer, he was taught that a good performance was all about the practice. Then, as a singer and young psychologist, he learned that a peak performance is all about developing the mindset to equal the skill set. That realization changed John's life, and that's when he decided to become a performance coach. He had a vocal scholarship to Utah State University, where he earned his bachelor's degree in psychology. He then earned a master's degree in counseling and guidance from Brigham Young University, where he also sang with the BYU Singers. He then earned a doctoral degree in clinical psychology from the Chicago School of Professional Psychology. John did his doctoral dissertation on peak performance and how that applies to musicians. He is currently a practicing psychologist specializing in anxiety disorders. He presented his first peak performance workshop in 1986 and has worked with students from the local elementary school all the way to Juilliard. He's been teaching the class The Psychology of Music Performance at Brigham Young University since 1991. What an honor to have you here after reading that.
Oh, well, thank you. It is just a pleasure to be here, and I'm excited to get to meet all of you and to be able to do some things here today that really will not only be fun, but will help you as performers as well as teachers.
Yeah, I have to
So,
say, one thing that I've really noticed from watching some of your workshops is that you have a way of helping people understand the concepts, a fun way and a really good way of helping us grab the concepts ourselves, which, as you know, that's the best way to learn it rather than just giving the information. You can kind of experience it a bit. That's what I've noticed.
well, thank you, because I really don't like boring webinars.
Yes.
We've all sat through many, many of those. Hey, as we get started, I guess it's evening in London, isn't it?
That's right. It's 8 p.m. in London. I
Okay,
think it's
8 p.m.
1 p.m. in
Um,
California.
I would really like each of you to just share with me a little bit about what you're doing. And if there was one thing you could learn tonight, one thing you could have some information about, um, what would it be? What would you like to get? Lauren, why don't we start with you?
Oh man, why? Why would you start with me? Um, Ask me again. What was the first one?
Well, tell me a little bit about you. And if
With
there
my
was one,
singing or about life in general?
whatever you'd like to share. And if there was one thing you would like to learn tonight, or one thing that would really just make it worth your time for being here, what would that be?
Okay. I mean, I might as well talk more about the singing because that seems appropriate. I have just massive performance anxiety. Anxiety in general. I have anxiety.
Hmm.
But massive performance anxiety. And the sort of thing that's happening right now, like my heart being a bit faster because you put me on the spot, because I just was
Hmm.
like, don't pick me first. That happens when I go to sing, or like not just in front of audiences, in front of like anyone. I haven't like sung in front of my boyfriend, for example. So yeah, I guess what would I want to take away? I'd like to take away some of that.
Okay. So some tips or some tools that could really help you. I like to look at it and create the possibility of stepping out of stage fright and into flow.
Yeah.
Like I want to be in this space to flow, to share, to sing. Okay, great. Thank you. Annie.
So yeah, I mean, okay, so I've been singing and playing in a musical duo for quite a long time, like 20 years or so. And I've never really gotten over the stage fright. And I think like what I dislike the most is that like whenever, I mean, and it also doesn't even matter about the size or type of audience. Like, you know, we had a little recital with our harmony teacher the other night, and I still was getting stage fright, even though there's like no logical reason. But what I'd really like is or what I really dislike is there's always a big part of me wishing the whole thing was over. And like that's just like, I don't want to feel that. Like I like it when I see people who like they'll play and they'll just want to play a million songs and never stop. Like I want to be like that person who just wants to keep playing and singing.
Okay. Sounds great. And let's see, Annie, where do you live?
In Palo Alto, California.
Okay. Oh, that's right. All right. Okay, great. Janet.
Hi, I'm in UK as well.
Hi, Janet.
Yeah, I don't know. I like to hear experts in every field. So, what do I want to get out of tonight? That's the more difficult question. Whatever you have to offer, we've heard about you from Becky. I came late to singing. I'd never performed. I was very, very shy, shrinking violet. I shied away from anything performance-wise as a schoolgirl, all through school. I didn't even like speaking out at a work. I was a dentist, a community dentist. I didn't like speaking out in a meeting. I never would know who to look at. So I joined a choir at age nearly 60, and then
that is so cool. That is just
wanted
awesome.
to be able to sing, but the way I went at that, I thought I got to learn this singing thing because I wanted to be able to sing a solo, and I just had no control over my voice. It was just a sort of a soprano choir voice, and but I because I'm quite scientific in nature, I just got deeply into going on courses and finding out all about the science of voice and pedagogy. And I'm just so excited now. This course has come just at the right time because I am beginning to realize telling the story. I mean, it sounds so obvious because most people come from that direction. They want to tell a story. A lot of the people in here are singer-songwriters, and that's what they do. They tell the story. And I'm just excited about everything in my, I feel like, new life.
Hey.
In general, I've got anxiety about really for the future of my children and future generations for everything that's been happening in the last years. So it's made me very anxious, actually. So
well, you're in good company. I think all of us can say we're quite anxious about the events that are transpiring right now worldwide. And yeah, that's one of the things that we get to manage. And that's more of that global, literally that global kind of anxiety that we really can't do much about.
Yeah.
Compared to the anxiety a person might experience if they're going to be singing a solo with their choir.
Yes.
Different kind of anxiety. Okay, great. Thank you. Stephanie.
Hi, my screen is on. Sorry I'm late for a start, but both my kids have been off sick from school today. It's been a crazy day. But hello. So I'm a singer. I think I started singing when I was about 12. really inspired by some older performers in a show of Grease that we did with the music school that I went to.
How fun.
Yeah, and then the following year I had one of the lead roles in Bugsy Malone. So it's like, yeah, got straight into it and got going with singing. And my dad was really supportive with that. He sings too, just for enjoyment. He's in a male voice choir now. And so, and then I did lots of collaborations with musician friends, singing folk music, but I also have a love of jazz as well, and all kinds of styles really. And so I have been performing. In the early days, I used to get so nervous I would physically be sick before a show, and that was horrible. But as Becky's been saying, the more you face your fear, the more you overcome it. So I did overcome it. And in a way, I don't necessarily have a fear of performing. I'm kind of here for the community and the setting up of good habits and just to push myself. But I do get this kind of this anxiety around taking risks and doing new things that aren't familiar. And I want to see if I can get over that just by embracing all the moments and living in the moment.
Yes.
I recently did a mindfulness for singers course with the vocal health, Becky, and yeah, I just really enjoyed learning about all that and performance anxiety and things like that, and how I could apply that to different areas of my life. So yeah.
Well, it's important to recognize that the tools we're talking about, even though it's specific to singing today, they apply to every aspect of our lives. And not only do these tools apply, but the issues we have in our lives, the reactions we have to things, they apply, they go clear back into our history, and they show up wherever we have a similar kind of concern. So if there's anxiety on stage and there's anxiety, because you're afraid of making a mistake, and then if you're going to make a mistake at work, okay, that might be a problem too. That anxiety can show up there. So yeah,
that's why I've always loved singing as a kind of, it's my thing, because it helps you to learn so much about yourself as a person. And I think that's what it was, a sort of therapy from a young age. Yeah, so yeah.
Well, one of the things I really get excited about is helping teachers work with young students, because they're teaching tools and skills that make a difference. Here's a great example. I had a woman attend one of my seminars recently, and she came back and shared with me how she was conducting the musical ensemble for a documentary. Okay. And so they were recording this, and there was a 10-year-old girl there. And as part of this, she was supposed to sing a solo. And she used the words "pale with nervousness" to describe this young girl. Now, we've all seen this kind of thing. And what's really amazing, and I'll just share these two tools that this teacher used with her. She used a really simple tool I call the 5 ands. Okay. And so, why are you nervous? Okay, so Stephanie, will you role play this with me? You be that 10-year-old girl, okay?
Okay.
So Stephanie, why are you nervous?
I'm scared of making a mistake.
And
I'm worried that people will judge me badly.
And
I might be sick.
And
I might fall over when I'm going onto the stage.
And
my voice might not be loud enough.
And
sex. I might faint.
And
I might forget the words.
And
I might cry.
And
I might not know, might lose my voice completely
and
freeze
and
fall over.
and fall over. Okay. Now, think about what we just did. You just probably touched on, in one way or another, so many of the issues, from physical health to the voice holding the way it's supposed to being nervous. I mean, those are all the things that are bouncing around in somebody's head, right? Okay. Yeah. So let's think of it this way. The boy fell into the hole. If that's where the story stops, where is this boy going to be for the rest of forever?
Well, he's either going to be at the bottom of the hole or find a way out.
Well, if the boy fell into the hole and that's where the story ends, you're right. He's going to be in the bottom of the hole.
Yeah.
So let's just have a little bit of interaction with this. Lauren, the boy fell into the hole and
Broke his leg.
continue the story. And
Started crying.
he started crying. Janet, and
Called for help.
he calls for help. Stephanie, and
Nobody came.
Susan. I don't know if you can put that in the chat, or maybe she won't be able to respond. Becky,
Yeah,
and
able to. And someone finally heard him and came to the edge of the well.
okay. Lauren, and
they lowered a rope down the well.
Annie, and
he was so hurt and tired he couldn't grab onto the rope.
Janet, and
He called for his mom.
and Stephanie,
he felt so incredibly heavy that he couldn't lift his body off the ground. Also he's broken his leg. So
he's broken his leg. Okay, wow. This story is getting more dramatic all the time. Okay. So he has a broken leg. Becky, and
Okay, and he realized though that his arms were strong, so he started to pull himself out of the well.
He's an optimist, I think. We're so pessimistic.
Well, the record is actually 21 negatives before I could get the person out of the hole. So Stephanie, let's go back to this with you. So you're that 10-year-old girl, Stephanie. And so Stephanie.
Yeah.
The goal here is to use ands to move us out of that hole, to move us forward.
Yeah, that's good.
So Stephanie, why are you so nervous?
Because I've been worrying too much, dwelling on it.
And
I need to breathe. And take it one moment at a time. And see what happens.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
See, we went from those over 10 different dimensions of anxiety and fear and worry. Just by knowing the 5 ands, you turn that around. And once you recognize the goal is to turn the situation around within 5 ands, it's like, okay, that was devastating. That was so embarrassing. Well, I didn't die. And I did make some mistakes. Actually, next time I'll just practice more. See, we get to turn that around. So she did that with this young singer. And then she taught this young singer to do what I call a 10-finger breathing exercise. So you just grab a finger like this. So as you breathe in, you just give yourself permission, like, I am safe, body. It's time for me to relax. Just stand down, relax, just breathe in, squeeze your fingertip. And as you exhale, say, body, relax. Next finger. Body relax. Next finger. Body relax. Next finger. Body relax. Body relax. On the other hand, I am bold. I am confident. I'm expressive. I'm excited. I got this. So this conductor did those two little exercises with this 10-year-old girl, and her anxiety just went away. And she was ready to sing and sang great. Now, yes, it was amazing that this teacher had those tools. But imagine what it was like for that young girl to go into this studio recording session. And she learned that stage fright can be managed at the age of 10, that there are two tools that would help manage stage fright at the age of 10. That is amazing. I coached a young singer. Her name is Audrey Edwards. She's just a delightful young singer. And she went to an audition. And she came back, and our conversation was something like this. Wow, I could see how everybody was so activated. And I recognized that. And they didn't know what to do about it. And I did. And I sang great. By the way, if you could just remember this one thing from this presentation, it would change your life and everybody you work with. See, we can eliminate stage fright right now, forever. How? It's no longer stage fright. It's called activation. The sympathetic nervous system is now activated. This is the system that responds to the perception of any kind of danger, threat, or harm, physical, social, or emotional. It activates. It's not stage fright. You're not really afraid of the stage. I'm afraid of rattlesnakes. I don't pick up rattlesnakes. I wouldn't pick up a rattlesnake. But to say I'm afraid of the stage, I'm not afraid of the stage. There's nothing inherent in a stage that's dangerous. So we could eliminate stage fright right now by calling it activation. And then you start to manage and learn what you can do so this energy that we've got can be used in a positive, healthy way rather than a negative.
John, do you mind if I just ask you a question there?
Please.
I love this, activation and just feeling like it's a body response. And one thing that we watched was someone was saying, this is kind of how your body is supposed to. So you can almost welcome it.
Yes.
The problem that I have is that it's almost like it's kind of subconscious. It's like I know that, and that does help me. Do you think that will just continue if I just work on the awareness of it? Will it just eventually start to dissipate? Because at the moment, I just get it. And it's like, it's such a response.
Yeah. Actually, the awareness of this will not make it go away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What you're having to do is retrain your brain and your body. We didn't grow up inherently knowing that rattlesnakes are dangerous. There's nothing about that. A little toddler would go just as close to a rattlesnake as they would a puppy, just because they wouldn't know one's different. Now, if mom saw little Johnny going as close to that thing in the backyard, and all of a sudden she screams and she picks him up and she runs away and she calls for dad, and the next thing you know, dad comes out in the backyard with a shovel, and you just watch that rattlesnake get chopped to pieces. That little girl is going to have some kind of impression imprinted in that brain. Those are neural pathways. And they are challenging to change. And the more we practice them, the stronger and faster they get. So we really need to recognize that it's now time to start practicing a positive mindset, positive tools for performing, and not reinforcing and practicing the anxiety despite what the body's doing, because it is an automatic conditioned response. Now let's go back to that rattlesnake example. Okay, mom picks up Johnny. Whoa. And the next thing you know, dad's holding Johnny, and mom goes to the garage and gets a shovel or gets a rake and a garbage can. And she talks about how rattlesnakes are kind of cool, but we don't want this in the backyard. It's going to make some noise. And she drops the garbage can over the top of it, and she slides a board underneath it. But did I mention that mom had a degree in like reptile studies? Like reptiles were cool to her. Okay. So here mom is now showing little Johnny how to manage rattlesnakes. Now, who's going to really freak out? Who's going to freak out the most if they were out hiking and encountering a rattlesnake? The first kid would. Why? Because he had that imprint, that impression of just how dangerous rattlesnakes were. Where the other kid's going to be like, hey, these are cool. Did you know they can only jump about 18 inches? You know, just that kind of thing. And they don't chase you. Some of them don't. Some of them do. Anyway, it would just be a completely different experience. And so what we got to look at here, I have a little object lesson here. What we need to look at here is we have neural pathways to develop. How many of you can juggle? Any of you can juggle? Okay, I'm giving you an assignment. Okay, Stephanie, you've tried to juggle before?
One of my boyfriends was a very good juggler, and he taught me how to do it. So I can do three.
Okay.
More.
Okay. Well, that
So
qualifies as a juggler. See, none of us are born with the neural pathways to juggle. But by the time we are probably about 10, we can take a ball from one hand and throw it to the other hand. Again, that's 1/3 of juggling. Well, you can put a ball in each hand, and we can learn to do the same thing in a certain rhythm. Up, up, catch, catch. So again, that's 2/3 of juggling right there. Up, up, catch, catch. And 3/3 of juggling is just to continue that up, 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 catch pattern with 3 balls. Now, it's really fun to do that in a live workshop. So when you invite me, Becky, to London to do a live workshop, I'm going to bring a whole crate of juggling balls. I would love to do that. Because there's 2 things I discover when anybody has a set of juggling balls. I find out what skills they have. So many people have said, I don't know how to juggle. And then when they start to throw the balls around, they're doing the exchange. It's like, well, you had some juggling lessons. Oh, I was in 7th grade in PE class. They taught us how, but I don't remember. But see, the neural pathway was still there. They could do that. Usually it takes me 20 minutes to teach somebody how to juggle. And it's just about developing some neural pathways. So I challenge each of you to get a set of juggling balls and experience the development of a new neural pathway. I'm going to figure out how to do that exchange. I'm going to up, up, catch, catch. That's the first thing I recognize. The second thing that happens is I get to see their conditioned response to the dropping of the ball, literally. In other words, they're going, okay, let's see, what do I do? Let's, whoa, it goes over there and goes over there. And it's like, oh no, I can't do this. See, that's a reactive conditioned response as well. And so there was one girl in this workshop and she was getting almost violently angry at herself for dropping the ball as she was learning. And then I finally said to her, okay, Susan, the next time you drop the ball, I want both hands in the air. I want this whole room to hear, woohoo, I am learning to juggle. And she had to train that response. I mean, she would just like, oh, okay, I'm learning to juggle. And that is just a great thing to be able to do. See, what if we could say, I'm learning how to perform. I'm learning how to express myself. I'm learning how to share my gift. So it's not just being mindful, Becky. You've got to be mindful and aware of what you want to change and then what you can do, like that 10-finger breathing exercise. So how many of you right now have a regular practice of meditation? Like every day you do some form of sit down, breathe, mindfulness, and just really get calm and quiet? Anybody? Nobody has that. So my hand will be the only one up.
I used
Okay.
to do yoga every day, but I've slipped.
Okay. Well, you know, most of us are not 100% consistent with things, and sometimes that's a good thing. But one thing I would encourage you right now is to practice for a month. Okay, you're now going to do a mindfulness exercise every day. Now, they could be 2 minutes long and be effective. They could be 30 minutes and be effective. In my performance psychology class, I require my students to do 60 meditations throughout the course of the semester. They have to log them. And that is really an incredible thing to watch what that does for them. All you have to do is talk to my favorite doctor, Dr. YouTube, and you can find all kinds of stuff there. The other thing I'd really recommend is, now, how many of you are teachers? Becky, you are. Stephanie? Any other teachers? Lauren? Okay.
Not of singing. Not of singing.
Oh, okay. Well, what do you teach?
I'm like a personal trainer. I teach yoga, and yeah, that's, I mean, probably surprising I don't meditate every day. I was going to ask though, I used to, so I meditated every day on my yoga teacher training, and then did quite a bunch of meditation. And I know I'm about to say something to someone who suggested meditation, so I'm expecting a certain answer, but I don't get this revolutionary, or not that it's supposed to be revolutionary, but I don't really feel that I get anything out of seated, quiet meditation. I just don't. So, for example, I train a lot of handstands, and I find that handstands are when I completely switch off, don't talk, focus. But seated meditation in quietness for me is just not something that seems to do very much. And I've been told before by yoga teachers that that's not okay. Are you talking solely about that, seated, quiet meditation, listening to something, you know?
Oh, absolutely not. For example, a stoplight meditation. So you're in your car and there's a stoplight. You're going to be there for 45 seconds. You're going to be there for a minute and a half. Well, you look at the stoplight. As you breathe in, you squeeze the steering wheel. As you exhale, you say, body relax. And you do that through the length of the stoplight. See, that's a stoplight meditation. The walking meditation. Now, so teachers catch this idea here. So tell your students, as they walk up in front of the microphone or onto the stage, with each step, they're repeating in their mind, bold, confident, bold, confident, bold, confident, bold, confident. I got this. Ready to sing. That's a walking meditation. So to look at this idea that we can just be blissfully calm all the time, and even as I've studied meditation and I've talked to people who've done a lot of it, it takes a lot of practice to really quiet our mind. What a place of confusion. A lot of stuff is just bouncing around in our minds all the time. And so it's really more of what you want to make out of the mindfulness moments that you want to do. There's a TED talk about someone who would just basically say, sit quietly for 10 minutes every day. Or there's a meditation practice where you don't say anything for an entire day. I've never done that. That'd be hard for me. Or to just meditate every day for an hour, like just be with your thoughts, just be present. And so one thing you might try, Lauren, is to do more kind of guided visualization kinds of things rather than just sit there for 15 minutes.
I hate to be a pain, but I can't visualize anything. Like, I have one of these brains where when I close my eyes, it's just darkness. And when people tell me to visualize stuff and feel stuff, I don't. So that also isn't great for me. I know I'm a massive pain, but.
Well, hold on a second. See, when you look at the visualization as a skill, not everybody closes their eyes and has a YouTube video on the back of their eyelids. Like they're just visualizing like this. Most people, as we call it visualization, are just kind of like talking themselves into doing something. Like you close your eyes. Okay, here's an interesting little exercise in terms of visualization. Okay, just take a nice big breath in. You might want to close your eyes. Can you feel the air come in and the air go out? The in breath, breathing in, out breath, breathing out. I'd like you just to imagine, to talk to yourself, just think about singing a favorite song. And if you were singing this favorite song with boldness, with excitement, with energy, what might you do with your hands? Now, just imagine you were singing this song, but you were scared. How would it be different? If you were scared, what would you be doing with your hands? Okay, Lauren, I got a question for you. What would the person who's bold, in a sense, the bold, confident singer, what were they doing with their hands? In your mind's eye, what did you see? What was there?
What Stephanie did.
Okay, what Stephanie's doing. Okay, and the person who's scared, what did you see?
Probably what I would do with my hands, put them away somewhere.
Yeah. Okay, see, that is actually visualization. So I would challenge you to drop your story that you can't do it. Okay, it doesn't have to be this Technicolor like movie screen thing. Because if you could just imagine.
Yeah, sorry. I don't want to cut you off, John.
Oh, go ahead, Stephanie, go ahead.
But a lot of my yoga teachers have said things like if you find it uncomfortable closing your eyes, just to keep a soft gaze. And I think that could be useful for you if you find shutting off difficult.
I've done it. I've done quite a few different.
Oh, I imagine you have. No, I imagine you have.
But I will try that. I will try that.
The soft gaze is a great strategy. So here we are talking about what we can do in terms of skills to help improve our performing. And we've got to look at the things we learn physiologically and how to retrain our mind and body. And also we've got to start looking at our thoughts. And so that even that 10-finger breathing exercise thing, or saying body relax, then what are we doing? Confident, bold, excited, expressive. I got this. I'm excited. I can do this. Let's do it. See, that is a simple little, it takes less than a minute to do that. And it, covers both of those bases. Wonderful. I would just love to do this entire time, just answering your questions. If you've got other questions. I mean, I always could break out the PowerPoint, but
when you were asking if who meditates, I mean, I've looked into it a lot. I've done a lot of self work, all of that kind of thing. But what I realized was that I do it when it's too late. So I'm like, in the moment of anxiety, and I'm like, meditate,
Right.
and then of course it doesn't work. So go ahead.
Recognize that sense of activation flashes on faster than a heartbeat. Boom, it's there. And that's a flood of super juice. Neurochemicals are now in our brain and body. It takes at least 20 minutes for that to fade away. So I've talked to lots of people who have thought they're going to master this performance anxiety thing, and now they're getting anxious and it's not going away, and they get more anxious because it's not going away. And my favorite intervention for what you're describing, Becky, is the word, so what? I'm activated, so what? I'm here to sing. So what? There's going to be a level of activation. And the reality is we want a certain level of energy in the body, a certain level of activation. Now, if it's too high, and this is in my book, if it's too high, it interferes. If it's too low, we don't have the energy we need. So we want to have tools and skills to cap excessive energy and bring it up. And so typically in the moment kind of thing, if you're wanting to be totally calm when you're activated, you're not going to be able to just, unless you've done some serious biofeedback training and some, that your body just knows how to respond to you. And most of us don't dedicate that much time. But to just say, so what? I'm activated, but I'm here to sing.
Yeah.
And then you go back into your mindset. Okay, I'm prepared. I've got this. I can do this. And then you don't worry about the activation.
Yeah, I love that. I'm going to try out the so what. I think that would really help me.
In a very simple perspective with the brain, performing is a very complex issue. It really involves so many different parts of the brain, from the auditory, centers of the brain to the visual and all the, muscle control. So it's really a whole brain kind of experience. But I like to really simplify it. Over here, we have an analyzer brain. This is great for the practice room. And this is actually great when something shows up on stage that surprises us. Okay, that's what the analyzer brain is for. Over here, we have a decider brain. Okay, there's just the decider brain, part of the brain that takes all that analysis and says, okay, I'm at the ice cream store. There's, wow, how many combinations of ice cream? Wow, there's got to be over 1,000 different combinations of ice cream possibilities. And the analyzer brain is going and something like single cone, raspberry cheesecake. That's what I want. And that puts in motion all the energy of ordering it, the verbal speaking, paying the money, now eating the ice cream and enjoying it. So we have the analyzer brain, the decider brain, and then we have our midbrain between the ears, which is our danger brain. So here's a really fun little exercise. I'm looking for a chance to do this. See, each of you, I bet, has a favorite song. Okay? And see, the request of who would be willing to sing the first line of their favorite song right now. See, if we looked at it as a request, it would land like, oh. But let's just try it this way. Think of the phrase 3, 2, 1, decide. 3, 2, 1, decide. So the request is, I would like someone to sing the first line of their favorite song. 3, 2, 1, decide. Who's going to do it? Stephanie, go for it.
I don't think it's my favorite song, but it's the first one.
Doesn't matter.
I love you for sentimental reasons. I hope you do believe me. I'll give you my heart. Started a bit low.
What a fun thing to be able to say, but the most important, to be able to sing like that. But the most important thing here is you decided to put your hand in the air, didn't you? Okay, I can do that. Okay. So Annie, what was the chatter in your mind that said, I'm not gonna, no.
Well, I'm like, first thing I think, I have a hard time singing without my guitar and without and then without my partner playing too. So the thought of just being like, oh, go and sing a line is like, well, I don't sing. Okay. I'm not a singer.
Okay, so, right, like we believe that you're not a singer and you're doing this workshop and you've been working with a partner for 20 years. Okay, so can I coach you with this, Annie?
Uh-huh.
Can I coach you with this? Okay. Recognize that our midbrain gives us that first response, pop. It's like, it's just back there waiting to go. It's like, that's just what it does. And so all those reasons, I like to call that monkey chatter, all that noise, well, my partner's not here, I don't have my guitar, I haven't warmed up. That's just like, boom. It just shows up in our brain. But when you have your decider brain activated, you can say, I could sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Could you sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star?
I cannot sing without, I have a really hard time with that.
I get it. But see, I'd like you to think of this as a decision. See, it's a decision to be uncomfortable. If you're going to deal with performance anxiety in general, you have to decide to be uncomfortable. You have to decide to put yourself in places that are uncomfortable. And you have to decide to get through the other side. I am absolutely convinced there's no way you could there's no way you could make me believe that you could not sing the first line of some song.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Okay, Annie, what decision did you make? How did you make that decision?
Well, I just thought, okay, I guess I can do that.
Wow. Now, do you realize how powerful that is? Okay, so you got out of the part of your brain that was pounding you with all these negative thoughts and the monkey chatter, and you got into your analyzer brain and said, wait a minute, can I do that? Yeah, I can do it. Okay, I'm going to do it. I had a lot of fun with this in my performance psychology class. I walked into class one night and I said, thank you for showing up. You may not have known this, but I'm a talent scout. I'm looking for a special something. I'll know it when I see it. Who wants to audition? And this wave of anxiety filled this room. And it took some coaxing. I finally got 5 kids to come up. Well, I had them go out in the hallway, told them to do something. I don't really care what it is. It's this, I'm just looking for my special something. Well, each of them came in one at a time and they did a delightful performance. And then I just simply announced to the class, I'm so excited. I found the special something I was looking for. I was looking for people I could give an automatic A to on my final exam. I found 5 of them. And they were like, really? And all the other kids were like, oh. Now, if I'd have said, whoever auditions gets an automatic A on the final, every hand would have been up. So they analyzed that with their brain saying like risk, danger. Oh man, no final exam just to sing it. Yeah, I'll sing something. But see, it's that first response that we get stuck in. But what was so powerful was the next week, a student talked about how there was an opportunity for him to perform. And his first response was, no, I'm not going to. And all of a sudden he goes, wait a minute. And he put his hand in the air and he did it. See, that was the decider brain in action. And so really recognizing we need to practice our decider brain. Now, here's kind of an interesting way to practice the decider brain. You're in a nice, comfortable, really warm shower, and you grab the knob and you turn it to cold. Now that would require your decider brain, wouldn't it? It would require you to get into action. That's just what the decider brain does. Annie, thank you. See, your decider brain said, oh, I can do that. Yeah.
Can I just feedback something that I just caught up on the IVTOM conference, that's International Voice Teachers of Mix, that I belong to. And Dr. Skidmore did the presentation, and he was doing this exercise with students in that group. There were many more people probably in there. And while I was watching that, I was actually feeling uncomfortable. You know, that was the first time I saw that, and I thought, oh gosh, I don't know, like, you know, what I would do. Same reaction that Annie had. And it's amazing to see it again, even just watching. I was just watching that and not even live, you know, and I wondered if you were going to do that with this group. But just watching it, just experiencing it again, it's like I feel so much better. I don't feel that anxiety that I felt when I watched it before, because I've just seen it, you know, and I was just a bit more used to it, I suppose.
I am looking for someone with the name of Becky to sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star in gibberish.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you feel how, can we see you're getting activated right now? You're getting activated.
Something
just
new, yeah. Something new,
so
yeah.
what? Okay, can you just put some sounds together to Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star and make it sound in gibberish? Sure.
Ning ning wang wang yam yam ya na na ni yam yam lam la.
Awesome. Again, see, that was your decider brain taking over, like, yes, I can do this.
Yeah.
And it's basically recognizing that sense of activation, that flash, and going, so what? I can decide to do this. Now, let me just do a thing I call like setting this up. And one of my favorite things to talk about, and one of the things that I feel so strongly, is that we typically do not set ourselves up for a peak performance. We don't set ourselves up for a great performance. In fact, most of the time we set ourselves up for being anxious and nervous and worried and stressed. I'm at a jazz festival for my son's jazz band in high school. I overhear a conversation between a teacher and a student. And what I hear the teacher say is, well, are you nervous? Uh-huh. Well, you should be. And I'm going like, what a horrible conversation. Where was the, are you excited? Are you ready? You're gonna go out there and have some fun? You're gonna go just do some, great, go out there and enjoy it. Are you nervous? Well, you should be. That's ridiculous. I posted a thing on a string teacher's website about what would you tell your student right before the recital that approached you and said, I'm nervous? What would you tell them? Okay. Well, I heard very few good responses. Most of them were like, well, so said everybody who goes out on stage. Well, are you going to die? There were just not good motivating responses. The worst one, which is actually the best one, the teacher said, well, I have my students eat bananas. And supposedly there's something in a banana that helps calm nerves. Well, actually, the tryptophan in the banana, you have to boil the banana to get the tryptophan out of the banana. And again, there's not enough of anything in a banana to like sedate us or to like eliminate stage fright. But she goes, I have them eat bananas and we have a lot of fun with it. But then there was the boy who ate 4 bananas and then threw up. Now, how horrible would that be? That kid's gonna be in therapy someday. I was at my recital. My teacher said if I ate a banana, I wouldn't be nervous. So I ate the banana. Still nervous, still stage fright, ate another banana. Still nervous, eats another banana. Still nervous, eats another banana, throws up. It's like, that's gonna be traumatizing. See, he was set up for anxiety. So let me just talk about a strategy you can use to set yourself up for a great performance. So the first thing I'd like you to do is, and with a small group like this, I'd like to invite each of you to sing the first line of any song you would like. Okay? And the first thing you got to do is, if that's the invitation, so Janet, is that something you'll accept? And Annie, will you accept that invitation? I couldn't hear you. Is that an invitation you'd accept? Okay. Stephanie, how about you?
Yeah, yes.
Lauren, how about you?
I mean, do I have the option to say no? Like,
Was that a yes?
no.
Okay, that was not a yes. Okay, well, just
I
kind
know
of.
what you want me to do. I know I'm supposed
Okay,
to just.
no. Actually, you don't, Annie. What I want you to do is to use this process to set yourself up to doing something that you really know you can do. I mean, you're more than capable of singing the first line of any song that you could sing. But see, this is how we fall back into that first response, and we fall back into lots of habit and history. So let's just pause, take a nice big breath in, and just for 1 minute, let your forehead and eyes relax. Let your shoulders relax. Let your arms and hands relax. Just feel the relaxation in your body. You're giving your body permission to relax. You're safe. Let your body relax. I'd like you to imagine that you have accepted an invitation to sing the first line of a favorite song. The next thing you need to ask yourself is, why do this? Now, if you use lots of words like, well, it's expected, my teacher wants me to, this is embarrassing, I don't want to be the only one who doesn't. See, those are very weak. Those aren't very powerful. But if you think about, this is my choice because I can, this is going to help me as a teacher, this is going to help me as a performer, this is going to help me in other areas I don't even know where it's going to help me yet. Because I'm learning about a process that I can use in lots of places. Okay. So make sure you've got a positive reason as to why you would do this. Because it's fun. Try that one on. I want to learn something. I want to experience something. The next thing you do is you take a breath in and you think, okay, if I were to perform, what attitude would I want to bring to this performance? A boldness, a confidence, expression, freedom, sparkling. Come up with 3 words that you can use that will describe and embody the attitude you want to bring to this performance. Okay. Let's hear what some of those words are for you. Who can tell me what those words are? Just jump right in, just use the space bar. Let's hear some of the words that you would want to embody in your next performance.
Fun.
Fun, great. Annie, how about you?
Strength.
Strength, great. Becky?
Expressive.
Expressive. Okay. Stephanie?
Like calm and collected.
Calm and collected. Now think about that for a second, Stephanie. Not that calm and collected are bad words by any means. They're certainly not. But the reality is, would you want to have somebody go up, wow, Stephanie just sang. She's so calm and collected.
Yeah. No, I see what you mean. I think it just, yeah. I think rather than your heart racing at super speed, so it's that more of an internal feeling that you have then. Yeah, so you're asking me what I want to portray. Okay.
Try on the word excited, and then your heart's
empowered,
like
empowered,
excited. Lauren, how about you?
I mean, I feel like you've done them all now. For me to think of a mine was similar to Stephanie's, so I'm trying to think of a.
Well, I get
like
how
excitable one isn't.
I get how, with some of the anxiety that you're describing, being even a little bit calmer would really make a big difference.
Yeah, I had calm and confident.
Calm and confident, love it. Okay, so what we get to do here is practice stepping into a mindset. And once we practice this, it's amazing what can happen. I want to practice being bold and confident. I want to practice being expressive and dynamic. Okay, well, the next thing we got to do is prepare ourselves mentally and musically, mindset, skill set. So I'd like each of you to take a nice big breath in, and just for a moment, just think about what it'd be like to sing that first line of that song calmly, confidently, expressively, creatively. Just kind of like, yeah, that's what I want to do. Reconnect with that foundation mindset. Okay. The next thing I want you to do, and microphones are off right now, I can see that. You've got like 30 seconds to practice. Try it. Just try it. Okay, pause for a moment, take a nice big breath in. If you were to take your words and magnify them, so this is a double bold, this is a bigger bold, a bigger confident. What might you do in your performance? Imagine a bigger, more performing kind of performance. Just try that. And just practice for another minute. Okay, great. I want you to pause and take a really deep, slow breath in, really just breathe in slowly. Breathe out. One more big breath in. And just say out loud, my preparation is complete. Now, how many of you never really felt like you could ever say your preparation was complete? Like there was always more you could do? Yeah. Okay. But the reality is, if you've got a gig Friday night and you've been practicing for 3 weeks, you don't have any more time to practice. So why not call your preparation complete? So right here, this is actually a flow hack. When you can step out there on stage and say, my preparation is complete, that analyzer brain goes off. Because I decided it's complete and I got this. And I'm gonna go out there and have some fun. Boom. You can step out there into flow. I've been working with a professional comedian And he loves to do this because he's like, I start my sets and it's just like, bam, I'm there. He just steps out and he's right there in his set having a blast. Okay, so we've had a chance to design a mindset, review your motivation, mental practice, physical practice. You've declared your preparation complete. You're now in what I call stage 3. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, breathe in gently and just repeat those trigger words as you breathe out. I like to use the words bold, confident, free. That's me, just because it kind of rhymes. Just like, that's me. I got this. I got this. Okay, so what I'd like to do right now is just open it up. I'd like all of you who would like to sing, use that decider brain. And who's going to be our first person singing what you've practiced? Who's going to be that first person? Annie, please.
Okay, so this is called Что мне мило. Что мне мило, мило и драго, востро как рада мама, дукянда има.
Wow, thank you. Who's going to be next? Decider brain in action. Lauren, thank you. Go for it, Lauren.
Looking out in the morning rain, I used to feel so uninspired.
Lauren, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Who's going to be next? Janet.
I love that, Lauren, by the way.
Yes.
Very expressive. And mine is fun. I think I like to sing songs that are fun because it makes it less serious.
Okay, great.
So, rock-a-bye your baby with a Dixie melody.
Thank you. Thank you. Who's going to go next? Stephanie.
What a beautiful, beautiful baby, said the face looking down from the sky. A neighbor walked in and tickled my chin. What a beautiful baby was I.
Oh, tender, sweet. Love that. Who's going to go next? Becky.
You know, it's the worst thing. It's the anticipation of before something. Anyway, decider brain. The falling leaves drift by my window. I was working on there being calm and not rushing, which is something that I tend to do.
And my computer just reminded me that I need to plug it in. Okay. Fortunately, we didn't have a technical difficulty with that. Becky, again, it was beautiful. And I loved how you did the snap like decider brain. It's amazing just by practicing like, oh, decide. Just like decide. Can become really a trigger. It can be really a helpful thing. Now, what was interesting is, Becky, you forgot you were in stage 3. Okay. See, if you'll go back and watch this, you went into like that first response, self-consciousness. Okay, can I, just kind of that, and we do that so quickly, and we just have to recognize that. But if we're really working the idea of these 5 stages, you say, wait a minute, I'm in stage 3. So what does that mean? Well, the mindset you design in stage 1, the bold, confident, free, supports all of your practice and preparation. It supports your pre-performance. So in that, what were the trigger words you wanted to bring to your performance?
Well, I like expressive, and I wanted to, I'm not sure what the word is, but I want to like use the space between. So it's sort of dramatic, using the negative space as well. That's what I wanted to bring to it.
Okay. What kind of attitude would you say you first had when I said, okay, who's going to go next? And you decided to? What was your first response to that?
Well, that was like I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it now.
Before you decided to do it?
Yeah, I panic.
Okay. Now, see, that's an interesting thing to be aware of, because what really happened is you stepped out of alignment with the bold, confident, free, with the expressive dynamic. And you didn't necessarily catch it and like, oh, let's drop this, let's let it go. Let's step back into. Now, fortunately, it didn't panic you so much that you like, I can't do this. But that was a great example of your first response and how you managed it. So that's really awesome that when everything changed right there, and you're no
Yeah.
longer concerned about your panic, were you?
That's right. That's good. And I find that it's the space, like the longer the time, or actually it really doesn't matter the time before, if I have all day before something that I'm doing, it's like, it's just so uncomfortable to wait the time to get to it. It's like I'm constantly going back into these negative states.
Well, again, I would call that a habit.
Hmm.
And see, what you're actually doing is a negative visualization. And you're starting to visualize some things that may not go so well, or what about this, or what about that? And see, what would be great to say is, wait a minute, I'm in stage 3. I need to have a positive attitude. I'm going to manage my mindset. I'm going to deal with any kind of anxiety. And right now, I don't have to do anything. I don't need to be at the concert hall for 5 hours. Well, it's time to clean the bathroom. It's going to take the time to take the dog for a walk. It's time to have a life. Oh, I need to leave at 5:30. Okay, it's time to get my concert dress on. I'm in my car. Now I want to start focusing on my performance. So it really brings up which is another topic altogether, is attention, focus, and control. And most of us really struggle with that. In our culture and our world right now is so ADD. The number of interrupting things that happen in any kind of conversation or experience is phenomenal. And we're always just kind of looking around at things. But see, this is where you could start to recognize, oh, I'm off base. I'm out of bounds. I need to stop and reset. And again, my favorite Buddhist monk, Thich Nhat Hanh, the in-breath, you breathe in-breath, breathing in, out-breath, breathing out. Okay, now I'm centered, now I'm present. And what mindset do I want to design? Confident, expressive. Yeah, I'm prepared. My preparation's complete for my concert tonight. I got this. Is a whole lot more powerful and exciting than, oh, maybe I should practice that other section. That one phrase, I still don't seem to really have it locked in like I would like. Yeah, I'll go practice it. Ooh, that's a bad plan. That's really a bad plan. That just generates more and more anxiety. Wonderful. Other questions? Our time's disappearing pretty quickly. Other questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
Well, this is something I've noticed. Maybe you have something to say about it, but like, I never know how the stage fright feeling is going to manifest. Like sometimes it's in my hands, so I'm like playing guitar and my hands are like, ah. And sometimes it's in my voice, like in the support section, like, so like, it's hard to support the voice, or sometimes it's just like sweaty hands, like, but like, it's not the same thing every time. Like, I don't know how it's going to hit me. And I was just like wondering what you think of that.
Well, again, the sense of activation can hit us in different ways, whether it's the cold, clammy hands, impact our breathing. It can, shakiness. So what you want to do is recognize that you've got this whole period of time on stage 2 where you're practicing. And so now you're doing your relaxation thing every day, and you're practicing managing your mindset, and your body's getting more comfortable with the idea of stepping out on stage and just being ready to play, ready to have fun. Okay. And if something starts to shake or quiver or whatever, you just kind of like breathe it in, let it go. I'm here. Every time we perform live, it really is a risk, if you think about it. And have you ever thought you're assuming a risk that you're also taking on all the possibilities of outcome? See, most of us want to go out there and do really well, and at the same time, we're afraid of messing up. Well, messing up is a possibility too, but who's taking the risk? You're taking the risk. And can you handle that risk of messing up? Sure. To me, confidence is not knowing I'm going to hit every note. Confidence is I can manage whatever shows up. I'll manage it. I'll take care of it. And so what you want to practice before pre-performance kinds of things, because you're describing lots of physical things. One exercise is you just start to like run in place or just move your arms back and forth. And you do it long enough that your heart has to respond, your body has to respond. And it's like, I'm so scared, I'm so scared, I'm so scared. Whoa, whoa, but wow, oh, wow, I just ran away and now I'm safe. I mean, that's what we do if we were, I mean, that's what I did when I encountered a rattlesnake. Yeah, I was scared, it activated me, I'm jumping back. At some point I said, I'm safe. So that this response, give it a physical thing to do and just I ran away, I'm safe. I'm safe stepping out on stage. This is awesome. I'm excited to be here. Let's get back into that mindset. Great question.
Sometimes I have so many thoughts that I can't actually pick out what it is I'm feeling. It's like this big jumble. What can I do in that situation every day?
A lot would depend on where this is at. So you think about this in the context of, are you in a stage 1 position, just deciding to perform? Are you in your preparation phase? Are you pre-performance? Are you in your performance? Or are you post-performance? So that'd be the first thing I'd have you check out, is where are you at in the 5-stage process? And then the second thing is, you're gonna have to figure out how to pause and breathe. See, if you've designed a mindset about being expressive and confident, and you're being bombarded by all kinds of other thoughts. The presentation you saw was on the imposter syndrome, in the sense that those characters inside our heads are, showing up and they're not wanted. Well, then it's a question of, okay, let's get some of those characters back on the wings, because I want to be the bold and expressive. And then we often find different fears. We find different pieces of history jumping up. We find other stories, things that are showing up. But it really is great fodder for the decider brain. I don't care what's going on in my head. Right now, I'm going to be bold. I'm going to be bold. I'm going to walk around the entire theater, and I'm just going to say bold, confident, bold, confident, bold, confident as I walk around the entire theater. I want to just pound in bold and confident. I've got this. My preparation's complete. I'm here to sing. Now, sometimes it's hard to do. But that's what professionals do. See, professionals have lives. And whatever's going on in the other dimensions of their lives, they're there. And when it's time to step up, you step up and you sing.
Yeah, and they can't be in that mode all the time. They couldn't live like that. So
no,
something has to give. They just have to get on with their daily lives.
Right. Just like we don't always perform at our best. Becky's familiar with Mark Baxter, I'm sure, if you know of Tom. But see, Mark Baxter is always talking about the performer has the ideal and expectation of right here. And so if they hit right there, they're saying, oh, there's a gap. I did not hit the mark. Well, the audience loved what was there. See, the audience doesn't know about a gap. And see, that's why I love to talk about stage 5, which is what worked, what didn't, what am I doing next time? Now, stage 4, let's just kind of jump back to that really quick. The characteristics of a peak performance are really the characteristics of play. They're the characteristics of a child at play in their favorite sandbox, playground. And we all started out free to play and to sing and to touch and to move. And then we were taught and told all the ways to do it right or don't do it, that's wrong. And that's all imprinted in our brain. And what do great performers do? They decide that their stage is their favorite place to play. They decide that they are ready to play and they're going to go out there and just have fun, and they go out and play. See, those are the performances that inspire people. Those are the performances that really capture people. And we can reclaim our ability to play. So just a quick little 2-minute visualization. Take a nice big breath in, close your eyes. And I'd like you just to imagine the freedom to play on stage. That there are no restrictions, there are no limitations. You are free to play on stage. You've made that choice. And you know what? When you're playing, the outcome doesn't matter. You get to sing your song. You get to play. So take a big breath, go ahead and open your eyes again. See, that's the moment of, that's just a quick moment of positive visualization. And really recognizing the goal of the peak performance is to go out there and play. The goal of the 5 stages sets this up. And it really allows you to be in a space to make the decision. I'm gonna go out here and play. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna throw it down. I'm gonna have fun with this. And I'm gonna support that. And you've got different tools when something else shows up. What if this happens? Oh no, it's like, wait a minute, I've got this. It's time for that performer to step out there and play, to perform. Other questions?
I was going to say, well, number one, I love that, just to put that into your intention is to play, because so often we can forget what it's about, what it's actually about, because we're so trapped in the fear of judgment, the fear of failure, the worry in that moment before, that we forget about, about why we do it in the first place, about how we can play, about how we're so. Everyone in this group is expressive, artistic, creative, and everyone here loves singing and music, so it's why we're doing it. I was going to say what might be really helpful is, because we've been jumping around a little bit, talking about the stages, and they, over the course of the group, we're kind of slowly, I'm doing my own stuff that I'm putting in, but I'm also, we're doing like a stage each class. And we got to stage 3, but because we're jumping around and that can be kind of confusing, it might be helpful for you to just summarize for us, and because I'm sure you will put in really good words of what the stages are, so that way can know when we're going through them. And
I should have put that up in a PowerPoint. Let's see. Okay, can everybody see that? The 5 stages of peak performance and flow. Stage 1 is really about the vision, your goal, what you're intending to do, and the development of the mindset, the attitude to support it. And when you can really put those things together, see, most of us set lots of goals in our lives, but we rarely set an attitude to support that goal, the attitude we would need to have to achieve that goal. And so suddenly we get frustrated and we go, oh, I can't do that. Rather than, well, I'm frustrated. I'm out of my goal to be confident and bold. Okay, I got to work on my attitude, then I can work on my goal. So that's really what stage 1 is about. Stage 2, actually, let's do it this way. It'll just be a little bit smoother. So stage 1 is the vision. What are you doing? Why are you doing it? What's the mindset you designed to support it? Stage 2 is the ready musically and mentally. We need to have that practice schedule. We need to do the visualization and meditation. We've got to have tools and skills to challenge that chatter that it just can be so destructive to us, and use lots of positive self-talk and affirmations. The most important thing to do in stage 2 is declare your preparation complete. That is so powerful. Stage 3, preparing to perform, no last minute improvements, pre-performance routines, things like the breathing exercises. This little thing here is a breathing exercise. Practice that optimal performance mindset, those trigger words, the centering exercise, center yourself, breathe, I got this. See, those are the kinds of things we want to do when we're in stage 3. Stage 4, we want to jump out there and play. We're at ease. We're not worried about future or past, victory or defeat. We're in the moment. We've got the skills to meet the demands. We're just playing. We give our gift. We tell our story. We sing our song. We're in that sandbox. We're playing it. Now, we also know that there's times we get distracted. There's problems. So here's my answer to this. Anytime you perform, the majority of what you want to see show up will show up. No question about it. There'll always be some things that don't. There'll be a gap between what you know and what you expect. And if there's a surprise, all bets are off and you just cope. And see, if there's a surprise, you use your decider brain to cope. How do I cope with this? Just decide to do something. Oh, the music stand fell over. Decide to pick it up. And then we go to stage 5. What worked, what didn't, what am I doing next time? Such an important thing. Is that helpful, Becky?
Yes, very, very helpful. Just there's so many things to do, and what I'm hearing is that it's a way of putting into practice implementing all of these positive steps before and around your performing.
You know, so many performers wait till they're really good, and they wait till they're really prepared. They wait till they know they can't mess it up, and they never sing their song. Or they only do it and they stress and they struggle for so many months or weeks or whatever it is. And they finally do it and they're often unsatisfied by how that went. See, I really believe that we've got to have lots of performance opportunities. We got to practice this tool, this process. We want to get good at it. Right now, this is a new idea, and we want to get really good at the 5 stages. One professional I talked to about this just goes, wow, this is demystified performing. It's like, it's just demystified performing. And what a neat thing to be able to do. Let me check something really fast. What I was actually looking for was a link that I was hoping to get that I didn't get. Actually, hold on. I may have got it in too many mediums of communication these days. I think it's in WhatsApp, not my. Nope, I didn't get the link. It just so happens that I've got a couple partners. One is in Canada, the other's in Singapore, and we're doing a workshop Saturday night on finding flow. So I will get that link to you, Becky, and you can send it out. And that's just going to be a really fun workshop that would really just talk about how to take these stages and not so much focus on the anxiety and the nuts and bolts of the breathing exercises. It's really like, okay, how do we put this into that space of just playing?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I look forward to receiving that. And yeah, I'd just like to thank you for coming along and let everyone know Dr. Skidmore has volunteered his time for us. So, you know, I feel very grateful for that. And I also feel very empowered. You know, I feel that I have tools now. It's like I go from this jumble in my mind, and now it's just quite comforting to have a strategy and to even to put a name to these things, and to know it's normal. And I'd also like to just give everyone a big pat on the back, because I feel like that's exactly what we needed to do, is to just do these things. You know, the only way is through it. And so I'm really proud that you actually did that. As little as it may seem, it's not little to us, because this is so important to us. This is our craft, and this is why we're in the group. So taking these steps have been amazing, and thank you for leading us, John, and thank you. It was
You're welcome.
nice.
I got 2 things I want to say.
Yeah.
First off, Lauren, you used your decider brain. when you sang that song. That wasn't about me pressuring you. That wasn't about anything else other than you made that decision to do it. It was beautiful. It was powerful. Notice that. That was a really powerful moment for you and just really, really important. Let me just close with a story here. A young man auditioned for and got a college scholarship in February. This is exciting. In May, he was invited to perform at his high school in an awards assembly to show off his great award of the scholarship. Well, he didn't have any of these skills. He didn't know these tools. He had what he had. Well, his performance was so hideous, so embarrassing, so bad, so just horrible. He got stuck in a first response. I can't do this. And I'm sure he had some people were trying to talk him out of this, but he got stuck in the thought that I got to give up my scholarship. I got to quit playing the cello. And he did that. Now, to me, that's a tragedy. That is so unnecessary, but it's about the lack of skills. Now, contrast that to that 9-year-old girl, Audrey Edwards. Wow, I could tell how they were all activated and they didn't know what to do about it. And I could manage my activation fine and I did great. When you start to use the 5 stages in your performance and you start to do especially stage 5, the debriefing, you can have confidence that when you step out on stage or when, the moment you commit to the performance, it will be a success. Because you know there's going to be something you're going to learn from this that's going to help you move forward and you'll have a direction to move forward. So even though you may not hit every expectation, you will be successful. And that takes the pressure out of is this going to be a good or bad performance? Just another little thing to look at that.
Good.
Risk, fail, stop. We've done that. Risk, stress, struggle, stop. We've done that. Risk, stress, struggle, succeed. We've done that. You learn this method, you keep working with Becky, and you're going to start doing things like risk, fail, risk again. Risk, enjoy. Enjoy. Step up, risk, and enjoy. See, that's what shifting out of the do it well, do it right, don't do it wrong perspective does. And that's what I get to help share with people. So I'll be letting you know of some different programs and things that I'm doing. I'll get this link to Becky. She can get it out to you. Thank you. I can say this is my first jump across the pond. I hope I get to come here again and be able to do some more stuff with you. So thank you so much.
Love that. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone. And I'll see you in 2 weeks. We'll be in touch.
All right. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.